In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Your host Superman in the house, man. We've got an update for you, so we're going to be talking about that today. We've got lots of cool things to talk about in the markets, but most importantly is the big question: if you were inviting someone new to Pulse Chain, how would you invest $1,000 on Pulse Chain for mad gains? So let me know in the chat there. You can break it up. I mean, maybe 250 here, 250 there. But how would you, for somebody new to Pulse Chain? How would you recommend that they, or suggest to them, let's say, that they would invest $1,000 in Pulse Chain? What projects would they be? You can put in why as well. Let us know in the chat there. Really interested to see what people think would be good for somebody new coming to Pulse Chain. How would they spend $1,000 or invest $1,000 on Pulse Chain to make some mad gains in the bull market ahead? You guys know the numbers, so get in there and give us those ideas. We're going to read those out during the live stream. Definitely getting to do that. I'm really keen on that one. Let's see who's in the house at the moment. We've got Wookie in the house. Wookie's on fire. I hope not. I hope you're not on fire there, Wookie. I hope you're okay. Now, you guys know the drill. We're going to repost the show out. So definitely get out and do that. And let me just copy the link for the show there. So repost show on X. As you guys know, I think we're pretty much, the only daily show covering Pulse Chain. So get out there, spread the word, and let's have a good time. All right, post on X. It looks pretty good when I put the little arrows in there. Actually, it's quite good. Better than I used to do. All right, so that is the link. Repost it. Just take a moment and repost it out. Be really helpful. All right, without further ado, we've got some cool stuff here. We're going to talk about Sun Mini Mill today. Obviously, there was a sell the news event. It was one of the two scenarios. Obviously, there's always two scenarios. Sell the news event was the case. And, of course, we have got the Austrian World Summit, which Sun Mini Mill was speaking at on a panel with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's a very much a left-wing environmental summit. It's got the Destroyer of the West, Tony Blair there, Destroyer of the UK in particular. He's there as well, but hey, look, there's a few fake conservatives and Republicans there. The usual few fake ones there, and trying to talk about unity with the insanity. You can't have unity with insanity. You just got to fight and defeat them. That's pretty much it. Politically, of course, we're talking about politically. Hit the likes, post it out. Definitely smash the likes out there on that one. Boom. All right, let's get into it with further ado. We've got some big thing coming up tomorrow, of course, after the live show. So we're going to talk about that. And that is, we've got the Pulse Chain DeFi Rising Stars on. That's our first X-Bait with the Kryptonite Show. Crypt MVS, promotional lead with the Kryptonite Show, and myself will be hosting that, co-hosting. And, of course, that's going to be just after the live stream. And that's going to be on X-Spaces on X. And I'm very excited about that. It's our new sort of initiative and new growth for what we're doing on Pulse Chain. It's going to be about an hour long. We're going to have 5 teams. And those teams are Crypto Paradise, of course, with the Surf token. That's a huge new team that's come to Pulse Chain, about 135,000, I think, on there. And they just did a really big partnership with Emmett Farms, which we've covered many times from Kairos. We're also going to have Nuke the Supply, ICBM. This is a really cool GameFi project, which has, basically nuke you have to arm your nuclear weapon. And, of course, you burn the supply there. It's pretty neat. I actually really like it. It's very novel on Pulse Chain, so I think that's really cool. We're going to hear from them. We've got Nakamoto, of course, a pretty established team. We're going to hear from them also. Big shout out to that team. Heartwood Dog, of course, the viral anime series on Pulse Chain, which I think is going to be one of the big stories of Pulse Chain over the bull market. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And we've also got Mitchie, of course, absolutely incredible meme dog token for Richard Hart. And, of course, a big shout out to Icy in that, running that. So 5 great teams. All very different from each other, right? You're going to hear about that from them on 4th of June. So it's for me, it's tomorrow. It's already 4th of June here, but 4th of June US time, 9 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be Thursday for me at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 11 o'clock in the morning Australian time. So that is where we are, 4th of June, 9 p.m. Eastern. that is coming up. So very, very excited about that. The Pulse Chains DeFi Rising Stars, our first X space. So that's going to be a lot of fun to come along and join and tell your friends about it. That's that's what you do. So I'm going to post that link in the chat as well. Definitely share that around. So let's post that. So X space, Rising Stars, we'll call it, just for short. And bam, bam, bam. And that's it there. So come along to that. That's our first one. We're going to be doing that every 2 weeks and have different teams. That's the expectation. So look forward to it. All right, let's see what else. We've got a few other people in the house, but before we get to that, that is the link for the X Space Rising Stars on Pulse Chain DeFi Rising Stars. It's going to be pretty neat. Well, if you're a team out there and you want to book in for the 18th of June, that's the next one after this, hit us up. Hit either me up or Crypt MVS, and we can book that in for you. All right, let's see. We've got Craig Pittenhouse there. Morning all. Good to see you, Craig. $250 each. This is his pick. I like it. Straight out of the gate, Craig. You're a star. Okay, Hex, Pulse X, Pulse, and an NSYNC token, and PDC. Well, that's 5 tokens, Craig. That's $1,250. So you want people to go a bit higher. I don't mind that. That's good. But that is a fantastic lineup. Well done there, Craig. Well done indeed. All right, so Pulse chat. We got Fast of Dawn House there. I'm here for the tech. Here for the tech and the liquidy fork as well. Big shout out there. All right, so that's where we are. Let's move on and get into the rest of the show. We're going to jump away there as well. Don't forget to follow on X as well. If you're following my account, smash the follow there as well. We're just rebuilding, right? Rebuilding back up again. Lost my old big account and start again. That's all you do, right? That's all you do. All right, so kind of cool. Let's jump over into the stock market briefly. It had a good day in the office. It didn't disappoint. So we had another good day. So the Dow Jones up 0.5%, 214 points to 42,500. S&P 500 up 0.6% actually, pretty high. 34 points to 5,970. And Nasdaq up 0.8%. Pretty good day of Nasdaq, 156 points to 19,398. So that's doing pretty well. US dollar still sitting below 100 at 99 versus the trading partners. Looking at commodities, we've got a slight decrease in commodity prices. Good for the USA with the driving coming up in the summer. $63.30 for West Texas, and Brent crude there is $65.50. So Trump's delivered on the oil prices. Gold there at the moment, $3,383. That is up $6 today. Silver at $34.74. Starting to see silver move a little bit, right? So that's pretty good news if you've got a lot of bag of silver. So what's the big news? NVIDIA, which is the big juggernaut, the Magnificent Seven, as they say, gained over 2% as investors digest last week's earnings report. So the stock has risen 25% over the last month and is again approaching new highs. So that is helping drive the market higher. Pretty exciting. We continue to see strong demand profile for its AI products, custom ASICs, and network solutions, stabilizing the non-AI semi-business as well. And so that's been pretty cool. Also, the VMware revenue synergy as well has been unlocked. So good news there with the tech companies. That's what's going to keep the stock market going. It's going to be bullish for crypto as well, right? We get that wealth effect, potentially moving into crypto too from wealthier people on the stock market. We've got the trade tariffs progress is also in focus. Obviously, trade, Trump's still working on that. He's got a deadline, I think it was, for Wednesday. So that'll be Wednesday US time. So it'll be for tomorrow for us. So that's to get the deals in, right? Tax cut bill working through progress as well, through Congress, I should say. And of course, it's going to be the single biggest spending cut in history. So that's going to be, positive. They've just got to keep that going through. So the argument is that it could add 3.8 trillion to federal government debt over the next decade. Of course, this excludes the idea of economic growth, which is the offset, right? So that's it's the little trick they play. One big beautiful bill on his desk by July the 4th, and that's kind of where we are at the moment. So there will be a little bit of iffies within the GOP party, but I'm sure they'll get there in the end. That's kind of where we are at the moment. Job openings in the United States with the JOLTS report showed improved U.S. labor market. So 7,000 job openings came in at 7.4 million, I guess, beating the consensus of 7.1 million. So that's good news for the U.S. employment market, and particularly auto sales data also trickled out there. It looks like Ford reported a 60% rise in U.S. auto sales, so that's pretty good too. Overall, economy shows signs of broad resilience in the face of tariff turmoil, or at least we call it tactics, right? We call it tactics to reorder the world's trade order. And of course, that's kind of where we are. So it looks like not too bad. So overall, pretty good over on the stock market. And that brings us into crypto, right? So let's get on to that as well. And we've got, I'm here for the tech. We've got Fast Bill there. Let's move on. And we've got total market cap at the moment, 3.433 trillion on the crypto market, down 2% today. And what do we got there? We've got Bitcoin sitting at 105,459, retracing from its all-time high that it just had, and we're at down 0.6% today. Ethereum at the moment, $2,595, so just below $2,600. That is down 0.7%. We got XRP at number 4, is actually up 1.8% at $2.25. XRP is down 1.2% at $661 at number 5. Number 6, Solana is down 1.2% at $155. And number 8 is Dogecoin there, down 1.7% at 19.3 cents. Tron is at number 9. That is up 0.7% at 27 cents. And Cardano or ADA there is down 1% at 68 cents. Those are the top 10. And of course, we saw Tron flip a Cardano earlier this week. Out of the last week, best performers, well, there's not really anything standout at the moment. They're all kind of down. But the worst performer is pretty much Dogecoin, down 14.5%, is the worst in the top 10. And I guess the best, relatively speaking, or the least worst is, I don't know what we've got there, Tron, negative 2.5%. So Tron seems to be the best performer there, and it flipped Cardano as well, right? So those are the top 10. Let's see if anybody in the top 100 on CoinGecko made some money. We've got SPX 6900 up 21% for the week, so it's been a leader, as you guys know. And we've got Maker there up 10.7%, a ton from Telegram there up 5.6%, Uniswap 4.4%, and Kronos 4.2%. Then we've got a lot of these sort of AI trading kind of platforms. Quant is up 3.2%, Hyperliquid up 1.3%. Those sort of seem to be the top performers at the moment. Now, top gainers overall on CoinGecko, Vice up 67%, Bulled on BNB 73%, and Flock up 41%. Top gainers trending, Magic Eden, Hyperliquid, and Cubic. They're trending at the moment on CoinGecko. That's pretty much it. Shaved off a little bit of value. I think we were up to 3.6 trillion or so. We're down at 3.4 at the moment on the market cap, getting ready for that big move. The bullish thing, of course, is that Bitcoin is above 100K and holding above 100K. So that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty neat. 105. So let's look forward to more bullish stuff from that in the future. That leads us into Pulse Chain. Let's see if anyone else got any allocations. So far, the only one is Craig. He's $250 each on Hex, Pulse Incentive, and PDGC, bringing that to $1,250. So let us know if anyone else has got any allocations you would give if someone new came to Pulse Chain. How would you suggest to them to invest their $1,000 or more? Apparently, and get out there and let us know. Is it going to be some more core coins for Richard Hart, or are you going to be a bit more exotic? Let us know in the chat there. We got Gene and Hex in the house there. Hey family, good to see you, Gene. Hope you're doing well out there too. All right, let's jump over to GoPulse, and here we are on day 753. Pulse Chain, of course, was launched on the 13th of May, 2023. Full system state fork of Ethereum on the 10th of May, a couple of days earlier. And here we are 753 days later, and the price of Pulse at the moment is at quadruple 0.32.8, so just below 3,300 really. And we're up a third of a percent at the moment. Not really a lot of movement going on at Pulse at the moment, so still accumulation zone. Pulse X at the moment, quadruple 0.284, up 0.5%, and the buy and burn 7.18% of all Pulse X has been bought up and burned, excluding the OA sacrifice wallets. And the burn there just sitting at $1,417 billion at the moment. So $40 million. Woohoo! $40 million of burned Pulse X. And Stellar token at the moment, $1.45 is up 1 or 1/1200th of a percent. And the supply, they're sitting around 55 million. Only 2,600 ink a day are being emitted from the farms at 0.03 ink per second. So it's it's pretty modest these days. Hex at the moment is at 6600th of a penny, up 2.3%. So Hex is the standout performer. It's no double-digit gain, but it's still up 2.28%. And we've got eHex at 0.2 of a penny. Current price of eHex and PX together combined is 86 hundredths of a penny. There we go. So still in that accumulation zone. Eventually, when these do trigger to the upside on this uptrend, they will run pretty strong, and it's going to be pretty crazy to see that. Then people will be, instead of buying now when is the best time to buy, now's the best time to buy. That they will buy at a much higher price. That's just the way the markets work. Psychology for you. We got Blair in the house there. Hi all, good to see you, Blair. Big shout out to you. Yeah, don't forget to get into the chat there and let us know how you would suggest to somebody new coming to Pulse Chain how they would spend, invest $1,000 to make some mad gains on Pulse Chain. Let us know. Blair says just put the neighbor's house on it. Says Blair. That's true. All right, so let's jump over to the rest of the stats. We've got gas prices. We've got 3.1 million beats at the moment, 4 cents for a PulseX swap. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Validators, we're up to 50,730. It's pretty similar the last 2 days, I think. And then we've got the bridge at the moment. Let's see what that's at, 92.5 million. That's pretty much what we've had the last couple of days as well. So not a lot of change there. We have had a bit of compositional change. Obviously, DAI's gone down a little bit there. It was over 22 mil. That's now 21,859,000. I did take a snapshot of that, if you guys remember. I think I did it yesterday, did I? What's the day of the snapshot? The 3rd. So yesterday. So yeah, we have slipped down a little. We've slipped about 60,000 on the DAI. The ETH, we've actually gone up on the ETH, everybody. So that's good. We're almost 90 more ETH on the chain compared to yesterday. What else? EX there is pretty similar. USDC is down only about $10,000 on USDC. Coast is pretty much the same as yesterday, so that finally got over 10 million. That was a big deal. And USDC is actually up a little bit. It's up 20,000 on USDT, and Bitcoin, of course, is down about 35k on value. The Bitcoin pretty similar, 27 there. So that's kind of where we are on the mark. Something pretty similar to what we had yesterday. Actually, we're up slightly actually on yesterday. We're up for about 45k on yesterday. So 45,000 there. That's what happens when you take a snapshot. You have the actual numbers. So that's kind of where we are there. Let me pull up the deck screen and we can have a look at the volumes. So let's do that. Oh, we missed the mark there. So what do we got there? We've got the volumes at the moment, $9.8 million in volumes. So it has crashed. The volumes have crashed. What happened? Remember tokens disappeared, is it? Let's have a look at Remember token because that was doing like 80% of the volumes. So pretty crazy. But anyway, we've got some top of the market at the moment. So we've got 9.8 million in volume. So we were doing like 60, 70 million with Remember token. Remove the Remember token, we're down 20 million or 30 million depending on the day. We're at 180,000 transactions at the moment, but gas still relatively elevated, 3.1 million beats, but it's not, I guess, not too bad. We got How token, another printer token from the looks of it, is up 83%. That has been around for 3 days. We got Communist volume is up 73%. That's been around for 10 days. So these are all coming out of the blue here on the move. We got the TFC, the Fitzgerald company, up 46%. We got Reserve Tay there up to 22%. A big bonus coin from 9inch is up 12%. And Curve, a token there, which a lot of people have been posting under my posts on X about Curve token there. I think the Amish Kid and others out there are pushing the Curve token. So that is up 11%. It's been around for 2 months. We got Missile, the printer token from OG WebChef, up 10%. And we got Teddy Bear there, James Maria Teddy Bear up 9.9%. 9mm, the second big DEX here on Dex Screener, which is up the top here. That is also up 9.8%, and 9inch is up 9.4%, which is kind of funny because you guys know I was talking about that yesterday, that when we do get a bit of an uptrend on Pulse Chain, that all these DEXs will get re-rated because of the volumes, right, and the prices going up. So interesting that these ones are kind of number 11, number 12 at the moment on the default view on Dex Screener. Pretty interesting there. All right, so we got Teddy Bear, of course, Love.io up 7%. So big shout out to Anders out there from the Love.io team. And of course, they've got their surfy.com site, which has sales. Some of the sales does come over onto Love.io. That's kind of cool. We can't wait for their app to launch and to really start doing some of their viral moves. That'll be very exciting. Surf token, of course, from Crypto Paradise. We're talking about they're coming up on the X Spaces tomorrow. So X Spaces tomorrow. The Crypto Paradise team with the Surf token, obviously doing very popular and getting on the farm, right? Getting on the farm with Emmett Farms. So the charts just bounced off the bottom there, and to what's it, 2 cents, and it's back up just at 2.1 cents at the moment. So not too bad, not too bad. All right, so big team, right? Big team there, about 130,000 on the Twitter, and of course we had Nick Hellman there on the show the other day, which was really really good. So what else we got going there? Let's have a look at Finvesta, another OG Web Chef, up 5.6%. Finvesta, the sort of the parent of the OG Web Chefs, is up 5.5% there. Remember, of course, was doing all the volume. This is a different pairing though. This is, I think. Trying to remember whether the green one or the other colors. The current one, I think, is the other one. So this is up 5.4%. Atropa, James Maria up 5%. Crow is up 5% there. Atropa there, James Maria again up 5%. Time dividend. So if you guys have got time dividend, let me know in the wallet there if you guys are enjoying your yields there with the old time dividend. Obviously, they're getting more people downloading, so presumably, you're getting more swap value and more rewards with the time dividend there. So, and of course, KG's running that very well. What's that? Surely it must be close to 80,000 downloads on that. They haven't updated the weekly stats on that, which is a few days behind, so I'm not sure why that is. But Time Dividend doing pretty well with the Internet Money Wallets. We've got X been around for 9 months. It's up 4%. Dow Token, another pump tires, 3.47%. One of the early ones, of course. PDC The Greys up 3.3%. And we're hopefully looking to get a live stream with Perry coming on Friday, hopefully. I think that will be Friday or Saturday my time, I think, but Friday US time. So that could be coming up this week. Just have to nail that down, and look forward to that. He is the number one analyst and influencer in there that I'm aware of. Does an amazing job breaking it all down for PDC. And of course, what do we have? We had Craig Pitt said PDC in his portfolio for a new person to come into PulseChain, and that would suit pretty well. Come and listen to that. That's probably going to be on Friday, or if we lock that in nicely. We've got Beast Token there from Print OGs. From the OG Web Chef and one of the print tokens. Now, this was obviously a real flyer, and you can see, remember this mega uptrend we had for Beast, and then it broke down, and down it went. Went down to about $1, then rose back up to about $1.70, and now is down at 86 cents. So pretty much at the bottom at the moment. And look at that RSI just trading at the bottom on the RSI. Pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy stuff. So that's kind of where we are with the Beast token. Pump Tires, the main Pump Tires one, up 3%. Sparta up 3%. Trump, which is another Pump Tires, is up 3% there as well. SolidX, which we're going to be looking out for in the next few weeks, right? This is the one that really could run pretty big along with the other three Pump Tires visions. But this is the one that's going to be burned off. It's currently $10 at the moment for SolidX. That is Firewell, so you've got to keep a lookout for that, up 2.9% at the moment. And then we've got Sun Mini Meal, which we're going to talk about. It did have the Sell the News event, which we talked about in Strategy Club. So if you're in Strategy Club, you would have heard about that. And it did have the Sell the News event. We're going to talk about that briefly here. We got Hexvader in house there. Hey, good to see Hexvader. Big shout out there. And so, yeah, we had the Sun Mini Meal event. So let's have a quick look at that. I'm going to go down a bit further. Before we get to that, though, we've got UpX token up 2.4%. What else is looking pretty interesting there? Loan token is up 2%. Pulse Puppy up 1.6. X game, of course, related to the Solid X is up 1.6%. And these are probably going to, once we get some news around the actual casino license and the launching of X game, this is all going to start ratcheting up in value. So it's a pretty good place to pick them up at the moment. And of course, if you haven't joined our X game portal, it's the first dedicated community. The link's in the video description. So join up today to X game portal. Become part of our community there. We got a few others just up 1%. So a couple honorable mentions. Mafia's up slightly, 1%. Finfire as well. ALGO's up just over 0.5%. So there's a few little greens, dominance, etc. A part of the green crew. Fetch Oracle, slightly green today. And Signum token, of course. And that is pretty much it. So that's 65 out of the top 100 pairs. Currently green today. So it's almost 2/3, right? 2/3. Now, the ones that got sold off with Sell the News was Sun Mini Meal. And of course, as you guys know, we're following it closely. And of course, it only takes the top 500 accounts. They've got a lot of free coins. So it probably wasn't surprising. You only need a wallet in the top 500 to actually sell down the chart quite easily. And, like if you're like on the page 10, for example, your portfolio is worth about 120,000 US dollars. There's only about 110 million in the main pair. You do the math, and that's what we saw. We saw a couple of not even the bigger wallets. I mean, there's this in the 500 sell down the chart and sell the news event, right? So that's kind of what we expected. We did have the hourly chart, so we were hot on the RSI, right? Hot on the RSI, and so it was just a matter of time. And then we saw wallet number one, and then wallet number two, plus a few other wallets in here as well, send the chart down. So that was rallying up to almost 16 cents. 21 cents, as you guys remember, was $1 billion, and it got up pretty high here. Let's look at the market cap, how high the market cap got at a new all-time high for the price. Got up to market cap of 788 million. So didn't get to that 1 billion mark, that orange line up here. But that's kind of where it landed. And then the RSI was hot, and the event has been held essentially. So then we got the sell event. Now, I'm not aware that we've had the announcement from Sun Mini Mill. So I have not been able to see that yet. So that is all the announcements that they were going to be making at their special little sub event. So we'll have to, as soon as I get that news, I will pass that through. But at the moment, this is kind of where we are on Sun Mini Mill. It is the big corporate giant that's coming to Pulse Chain, going to build on Pulse Chain value. The buy and burn has not really started. A couple of little micro burns. I think they've burned like 10 million tokens, but nothing's really happened yet with that. So that's all coming up in the future. And like I say, this is a token that you've kind of got to hold for some time so that you can see all those things hold out, right? That's the kind of thing. At the moment, a nice little pickup zone, 11 cents, and you can see the RSI just hit the oversold territory here at 30 on the RSI there on the 4 hourly. And of course, the daily there still sitting at 50, but we may get a little bit of consolidation here at 11 cents. And let's see if we can get a little rise up. And the rise up would be coming obviously from the Bridge wallet, which is this one here, CC96 for Ramp Now, right? So this is the one here, and you can see all the buys sort of flowing through. Now, those obviously have to outdo any of these selling accounts that did the sell the news event, and that was a very likely event. We talked about that in Strategy Club. If you were in the meetings, you would have heard that. So there we go, and that's what played out. Now, what happened? Here is the actual show. So this was 16 hours ago. This was held, and it was 6.5 hours on the main show. And then, of course, I think they're having all these other little exotic little some conferences elsewhere on the property. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was there. He's the one that leads this. And of course, it's full of some of the, I don't know, it's full of some of the worst lefties in the world in there. Let's just put it away. And Tony Blair's there, right? So he's pretty much the guy that destroyed the UK and the whole culture of the British people. And so he's there too. But hey, look, there's a lot of fake conservatives and fake GOP people there, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so, yeah, it is a bit of a left fist. It's hard to watch for me. It's very hard to watch. But anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger's there, and he does this thing. So he's, talking away, and he does the introduction, and they all try to do this unity thing. But you can't have unity with insanity, right? Most of the stuff these guys are pushing is insanity and control, authoritarian control. So it's a bit of a laugh fest, really, if you think about it. And we don't want we got the Trump here. We got the first chance of pushing back on all this nonsense, but that is pretty much it. So it's about 6.5 hours. I'll post the link to this on the chat there if you guys want to watch a little bit of it. I hope you guys have not eaten or something like that, but that's pretty much it. So that is the link there to the actually Austrian summit. So you can check that out. But what we really want to look at is not all this terrible stuff, but let's go look at the positive stuff, which is the Sun Mini Mill table here. And I'm just trying to find it here. There it is there. All right, so this was the Sunny Mini Mill one. And I'm not sure whether it's English or not, so we might just play a little bit of it. Let me just get past this ad. Once again, just queuing up on this. Another ad, so let me just check through this. just queue this up here quickly. So this here, this is Wolfgang. He's the CEO and founder or co-founder of Sun Mini Meal, the superfood, and here he is at the meeting. So pretty interesting. What we got there in the chat? We've got UFO has landed. Hey, good to see UFO in the house. The Cape Crusader is back. Great to see you today, Kiwi Superman. I appreciate that, UFO. A big shout out to your team. All right, so that is where we are. That's the Sun Mini Mill one. Now I don't have the audio tuned in here, so I don't know. Let's see if I can add that in. No, it's not going to be that one, is it? Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if those work either. Let me just do something. Let me do some magic here and see if I can cue this in. Let me go back up here and set this up. Let's see if we can play this. I'm not sure if that switches out actually. Let me see if I can switch that. Replace screen share. That's what we want to do. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't let me do that. I don't know how that works actually. Let me see. Maximize dimensions. No. Let me just pull that away. Maybe remove that. And we'll add one in again and see how that goes. Yeah, I never really queued this up at the beginning, so yeah, excuse me on that one. Screen share. All right, we're going to add that in. And yeah, I don't think it's set up right because it sets up differently the way I want to have it. So yeah, we might just forget that. We'll go to the live vision. So yeah, he's going to speak here on this, and I'll probably do a clip of this and put this out on X once I've downloaded the video. 6 hours 35 minutes long, so it's quite long. So I might actually have to be better off doing a recording. So I'll probably do that afterwards and post it on X. But this is Wolfgang speaking. So that's a little clip. I'm going to post that out on X afterwards. But you know, they're going to doing a separate announcement, so I'm not sure whether that's been held or not. And that's going to be the release of all the alpha information that we're interested in. So as soon as I find that out, I'll relay it back to everybody on X and on YouTube and on. So there'll be an update there. But that is held, so it's kind of cool. And that's basically, you know, Pulse Chain is essentially through Sunny Minimal at the Austrian World Summit, which is kind of cool, right? It's kind of cool like that. And they're going to have a lot of big investment houses and all sorts of stuff. So we'll keep a lookout for all that. But that was pretty much it. And as you can see, it's a pretty long conference, and most of it's just full of nonsense. But the Sun and Mini Mill is the highlight, right? It's the stuff that is actually relevant. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. All right. What else we got? We've got the Hedgehog and Good to see Hedgehog. And we've got Brian as well. What's up, folks? Good to see you, Brian. Welcome both of you, our community leader in the house. All right, so that is pretty much it from then. Let's move back to the markets. So yeah, we had a sell the news event on Sol that was expected as a definitely big scenario, especially with the RSI very hot, as you guys can see on the 4 hourly. It was running up over 70, overbought. And then with the news event, you know, some of the accounts, these are not even particularly large accounts, sell down the chart there. So that's what you see. So when the buy and burn comes, when all the on bridges come, when the investment people come, this will increase the liquidity value much, and you know, dampen out the impacts, even the top 500 accounts being able to sell down so much, because it's kind of like instant wealth, right? You know, that's what crypto is about, right? That's why we're talking about the title of the video. How would you invest 1,000 on Pulse Chain for mad gains? And so far, I've only had one person put up their idea, which I think is a pretty brilliant idea, and that is, of course, the Richard Hart core coins plus PDDC. Go a bit extra from Craig Pitt. So a big shout out to Craig Pitt there, Craig Pitt in the house. All right, so that is kind of it on the markets there. How are we doing for time? We're up to 34 minutes. Man, I'm done so fast today. That's crazy. Let's do a quick. Let's bring up Bitcoin, shall we? And we're going to jump away from Pulse Chain. That was our big news there with the Sun Mini Meal, and we'll keep a look out there. I think we're going to get a lot more information in the next sort of 24 hours. So hold on to for that. We got Bitcoin, right? So let's jump back to Bitcoin here. In fact, we might go to the big view. And
you could get a God candle at any moment. you could get a giant.
So here we are. I had to pop back. I disappeared. But here we are. We got Bitcoin, and you can see us playing out this chart, kind of playing out pretty nicely. And that is Bitcoin US dollar. And man, I've got the new funky looking purples. I think this is because I did the M2 Monday supply. You might have seen me post that on X. And an M2 Monday supply is like record levels, which bodes well for stocks and cryptos and commodities and things. But here we are, 105,000. Yeah, we got this top of the line. We got up to 100. What's this line up here? We got up to 111,722 in terms of the all-time high Bitcoin, only on the 22nd of May, so not too far ago. And we're riding through these tariff periods, right? Riding through that, and we've got the 4th of July. Trump wants that tax bill, the big tax bill, and some trade deals announced. That's why he's got a deadline for Wednesday, which is basically within the next 24 hours. To get a lot of the deals in. And so, yeah, it's going to obviously do some big announcements there. So, we may be in luck. We may get some announcements this week, but maybe they're all going to be set up for next week, which makes a lot of sense. But we'll see whether we get some trade deal announced in the next couple of days. There were definitely 3 big ones that were ready for signing for Trump. So whether he decided to do something, little changes around that, I do not know. But, we could very well get some announcements in here. And that's what we're waiting for, right? It's those announcements. So we're currently at the 5th of June. So let's see what happens in the next sort of few weeks with announcements. But definitely looking very close to getting some announcements in this zone where I'm sort of cursing, moving my cursor and moving forward there. So yeah, big tax bill, trade deals. This is all going to be bullish for the market, and the market will receive that very well and probably continue to push higher and break through a new level on both the stock market and on crypto. So that could be very bullish. 4th of July is the deadline. And then, of course, after that, you might have a big party on the 7th of July on the Monday. And, of course, we've got the tax tariff extensions for, the bulk people with the 10% tariffs through to the 9th of July. So we'll probably have some stragglers come through there. That's kind of where we are. Now, we do have, even though Bitcoin is looking very bullish and the economics is looking pretty good, Trump's moving along pretty nicely, we do have these geopolitical issues, right? So we do have the Russia-Ukraine. Russia was doing some pretty hard attacks on Ukraine. Ukraine ended up pulling a rabbit out of its hat with blowing up probably 25% of Russia's heavy bombers yesterday, I think it was. So that's obviously got Putin riled up now. And it's funny. It does make me laugh, Putin saying it's terrorism when they're actually in war. So I don't understand that. But anyway, it's kind of where they are at the moment, and so that's turned things up. There was a supposed to be peace talks yesterday as well, I think it was, but it's obviously there's too much games going on, and I suspect that NATO is also playing into this as well, trying to make it so a peace deal isn't there, so Trump doesn't get any peace deal. So there's all these players trying to undermine peace, as well as players trying to position themselves for the best outcomes. So you got all the stuff happening at once over the Ukraine. But meanwhile, there's about 5,000 men dying a week, which is crazy, right? 5,000 men dying a week in the Ukraine. It's just madness. It is not a major war of significance, apart from the border security for Russia, one would argue. But apart from that, it's a pretty pointless. So it really is a shame. Just the numbers are unbelievable. You think about. I don't know if you've seen any war footage lately, but it's pretty rough warfare there. All right. So the other one, of course, is China, and that is obviously the juggernaut in the room, right? And we see China, bullying Australia a little bit, bullying, strength, doing a lot of live fire drills. I think it was last year, didn't they? They did a massive one. Looked like actually was an invasion. They basically encircled Taiwan with their Navy fleet. And of course, their production of shipbuilding dwarfs the United States. The United States got I think 4 major shipbuilding places where they do big ship, aircraft carriers, cruisers, battleships, frigates, and submarines. But the China ship production, including civilian ship production, which is all set up for military production, a lot of it is dwarfs the United States. Now, that being said, the United States obviously has about 880 billion a year spent on military versus China's maybe 350 or something like that, 350 billion. So, but they've been, particularly militarizing their navy as a coastal, particularly a very pretty powerful coastal navy armada. So it's going to be interesting to see all that. And of course, they've been doing these 1 mile long bridges that they just can park up next to a beach, and they won't need deep water ports. And there's like I think it's about eight deep water ports or 9 deep water ports in Taiwan. So they're all preparing for that too. So all this preparation, this is like pepping up there, and of course President Xi told his military to be ready by 2027 for an invasion of Taiwan. Now, presumably, an invasion of Taiwan will presumably mean a wider conflict with some Southeast Asian people as well as Australia, right? So that's kind of where we are there. So the risks still remain. Obviously, Trump is the right person at the right place, because he's if they get him on his tough side, he will be tough. He won't be a weak leader like Biden and the Democrats, and he won't be a weak leader like Australia's Prime Minister at the moment as well. So we shall see. It hopefully bodes well for deterrence, and we see that head chef out there basically, telling the allies to get your spending up and to get serious about this, because they're taking it serious. So it's going to be interesting. See where all that lands, and hopefully world peace will result. You can't have world peace if you're not using deterrence. We've seen that in history over and over again. You guys might remember the famous white letter. You got to have deterrence. Otherwise, if you're seen as weak, then the powerful will take position, take over a lot of places. So, and if you want a worldview based on freedom and safety and prosperity, then you still have to back, at least the West under Trump in any case. Maybe not the West under the progressives and the globalists, but because that's all authoritarian. Their big role models are China. Thinking of former President Trudeau, and people like that. So fingers crossed that we maintain peace, and therefore we can enjoy the prosperity, and then crypto as well, right? So we won't get anything unhinged from our big rally that we're expecting moving forward. That's kind of the play. We got Sean O'Malley in house there. Hex, and more Hex is Sean O'Malley. So that's your $1,000 allocation for somebody new. Yeah, nice. I think that's a great one. Thin liquidity and relatively scarce from that point of view. It's a pretty good idea. Now, I did see Dipcatcher put out a very good idea on X about PulseX should have been on Ethereum for probably the last couple of years, and he's quite right about that. Having that on there, obviously you'd have to do it in a certain way. It could be a pretty cool move as well. All right, so that's where we are at the moment. I think we're up to 45 minutes. Now, tomorrow's show, we're probably going to be about the same length as today, on the shorter side. Normally, I've been doing about an hour and 15 to an hour and 30 minutes. But tomorrow, we are going to be having the X Spaces on, which I'm very excited about. The Pulse Chain DeFi Rising Stars. And obviously, we're going to be meeting up with some pretty cool teams on that, which I think is pretty exciting. So the other thing is that apparently BlackRock, I think it's BlackRock, been switching. This is what I heard from Brandon talking about BlackRock switching Bitcoin to Ethereum. So that's an interesting trend. I haven't verified that, but Brandon's a pretty reliable person. So that's the one that is pretty interesting where that's heading. But let's talk about tomorrow's X Space, which is our first one. So very excited about that, and let's get into that. So here it is. We posted this out the other day. It's finally here, the ultimate X Space on Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain's DeFi Rising Stars, the Kryptonite show team will be hosting its first X Space, showcasing some of the Pulse Chain's DeFi Rising Stars. And of course, you can see that there. Bam, there it is. So for the 4th of June, Wednesday, there's US time, 9 p.m. Eastern, which will be Thursday, 1 p.m. in the afternoon for New Zealand, and 11 a.m. In Australia. So that's kind of where we are on that one. So it's kind of cool. We got a couple of people in the chat there. We got Amish Kid in the house there. The mad gains I'd be buying TFC and Curve. That's from Amish Kid. We've got Probably Review in the house as well. Thanks for the updates. You're most welcome, Probably Review. And good stuff there from Amish Kid there in the house. All right. So that is coming up there. And of course, come and listen to 5 of the hottest teams on Pulse Chain, pushing the frontier of DeFi. GameFi, and memes. They really are a diversified bunch, so I'm really excited about the diversity in them. Enjoy massive alpha drops. Of course, you never know what you might hear from them. That might tickle your fancy. And we've got Crypto Paradise is going to be covering their meme-tility with the surf token. So meme-tility. We've got Nakamoto and 414 there from Cabal King talking about Ultra DeFi. And of course, 414 and Nakamoto have been doing pretty well. Heartwood Dog, of course, the viral pulse chain story anime there from Heartwood Dog. That's obviously been a very, very popular and gaining traction. We got Mitchie as well, RH Cute Dog meme. Of course, if you guys remember, RH Richard Hart had a dog called Mitchie. Posted several images out about that, and of course, it's been made into a meme community. And there we go. So Mitchie there, big shout out to IC33, and we've got Nuke the Supply. Nuclear GameFi. This is new. This just hit the streets recently on Pulse Chain, and man, it is clever stuff. I really do like what they're trying to do here. And you have to arm your nuclear weapon, and you burn the supply, and all sorts of stuff like that. It's pretty neat. And they got different phases for that. So Nuke the Supply, come and hear all about them. It's going to be run by myself, co-hosted, and Envious Crypto, our promotional lead at the Crypto Night Show. And of course, 4 p.m. It's 4th of June, 9 p.m. Eastern. So it's coming up very, very soon. It'll be just after tomorrow's live show, and I'll probably start tomorrow's live show possibly a little bit earlier, just to give it a little bit of a break between times. And then we're going to have those speakers. They're going to do about 10 to 15 minute slots, showcasing projects and fundamentals. And that's the link right there to the X Space. And you can see all the teams that are going to be there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, we're going to be doing this every 2 weeks to showcase teams. So it's going to be really fun. If you are a team out there, you're not in the first one, join us for the 18th of June. And you can book a space in there as well. And be seen by hopefully in a bigger and bigger listening community every single fortnight. So that is coming from the Crypto Night Show. So yeah, see you all there, as I say. I'm going to post the link to that in the chat there. You guys can obviously leave comments and repost it. Now, all I would say there is if you are a team and you want to get a booking, just either hit myself or MVS up, and you can do that either in the Crypto Night Show Telegram or on our Discord as well. If you're already a member, hit us up there. So Rising Stars, and that is pretty cool. Let me and post that. Bam. All right, so that is the link. Who else we got there? We've got Brian there talking about the Fortnite game. X Space Rising Stars. So join in for that one. And Brian says, I would put $100 on each of the top 10 and watch the race to $1,000 each. I like that, Brian. That is pretty cool. That is a very, very cool one. It's a good strategy. You're the second person. Well done on that one. All right, Fortnite, I'm down, says Brian. Yeah, I knew you were down. He's actually a very good Fortnite player, by the way. And that is the X Space Rising. So, stay tuned. That's within, I guess, that's in 24 hours' time exactly from now. 24 hours exactly from now is the X Space Rising Stars. And, of course, you're going to see all these cool teams there. And it's going to be a lot of fun to hear from them all. Woohoo! It's going to be exciting. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be a lot of fun to hear where they all go. All right, so that is pretty much it on the show. I think we're going to end a bit earlier today, 49 minutes on the hour, unless people had something else they wanted to look at. Maybe we should bring up the ETH price. Should we do that? Let's do that before we have got a bit of time to spare. So let's do that before we go, and let's look up ETH. In fact, we might bring up the M2 supply as well. Should we do that? Yeah, let's do that. We've got a little bit extra time. So the ETH price at the moment, $2,600, not bad. And you can see we're coming up for this golden cross. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, we get some of these trade deals out over the next sort of 10, 15 days. And some of this tax bill moving forward, pretty positive. We're looking pretty good here as well. And we apparently, people like BlackRock are reallocating funds are going to ETH there. So yeah, we're pretty close. So the 50-day at the moment is sitting at 2,329. The 200-day in orange is 2,460. So we're closing the gap, right? We're only $130 gap here at the moment, and we're currently over that 2,603. Look at that little ziggly line there. So ETH there looking like it's getting ready. We get that golden cross. It could be a nice little hyper move. It kind of looks, you might get this little cross, like we had back here in November 24, and then we get a nice little rally in here on the old price chart on the old Ethereum there. So that could be pretty cool. Let's zoom out a little bit further. and you can sort of see the chart there. So yeah, it could start its way back up. And of course, we've got this little video that I play with Raoul Paul, the billionaire, and that shows you that we are pretty close to this takeoff. We have everything aligned, like the TA aligned, the fundamentals aligned, and don't forget, this could play out all the way through to like Q1, Q2 next year in terms of this big rally that we're expecting. So it's going to be, it's going to be quite a ride, So make sure you're on there. Eat to the moon, says Wookie. Eat to the moon, indeed. All right, so that is that. But I want to bring up the M2 money supply. So let's bring that up and make sure I've got the right one here. M2 money stock here, Federal Reserve. Let's go for that. And you can see we're at all-time highs. So lots of cash flushing around. This is pretty much liquid cash, right? Any sort of financial money that can be liquidated pretty quickly is liquid cash. And you can see we're at all-time highs. It's unbelievable. And the last time we had this high back here, we were this was May 2022. Actually, it was April 2022, and we were at 21.75 trillion was the high then. Then we came all the way down. Obviously, the Fed, pulling the monetary supply back to some degree. I haven't got the M1, I think. And there's the MO, the M1, the M2, and here we are at currently 20.67 trillion. That's where we bottomed out, and so we had a contraction in the money supply, so less money around, right? And not only do you have the money supply, but then you have the circulation multiplier, right? Circulating around. We've got to have that going good too. And here we are at all-time highs at 21.86 trillion. So we're beating this previous high back in April 22, and we now got money printing, and this might start running away, right? As well. So this is only any good if we've got supply opening up, right? Supply opening up, and this is what the Democrats and that are terrible at doing, right? They're great at destroying things, and but they're terrible at making things. This is where the conservatives and Republicans are much better, right, at making things, especially under the MAGA movement, right? This is we want to build, we want to increase supply, we want everyone to be better off. We're not about tearing things down and corruption and making ourselves rich while the rest of you are enslaved, kind of thing. So this is kind of really bullish. We're at 21.8, so game on. And if we get interest rate cuts as well, that could be the trigger for the altcoin season. The Fed, Jerome Powell, they're playing little political games. And if you don't believe that, I saw yesterday he was pushing for all these universities to save democracy. In other words, he's another Democrat. So, let's save, no, indoctrinate the children with all this perversion and all this sort of stuff. And here we are at 21.86 trillion. So if he made that, he's going to be under a lot of pressure. I recently went to the White House course, and let's see where that heads. But 4.5% of federal funds rate is kind of ridiculous at this moment. It probably should at least go down to 3.5%. And let's see where all that lands. We saw today the jobs report. U.S. economy is a bit resilient. Obviously, we had slightly negative GDP growth in the last quarter, 0.2% negative. But we are expecting a bit of a run ahead in Q3, Q4 for GDP. Maybe get 3 percentage points as well on the table there, given what all the good stuff Trump's doing around, oil prices being much cheaper, increasing manufacturing and investment, and of course dealing with trade imbalances and stuff like that. I'm not worried about the federal budget. I think that growth will offset any decrease in federal revenue, and of course they're still focused on reducing the expenses. So I think that's all going to play out pretty well. And more money and interest rate cuts. Bring it on. Rally in crypto, and that would lead us into our video that we always post here recently from Raoul Paul, which is pretty hyper bullish, right? Pretty hyper bullish. Brian says it seems stuck in the clouds. What is it? I'd be happy. What are you guys talking about there? All-time highs, yes, sir, says Bookie. I'd be happy if it got at least to the space station. It seems stuck in the clouds. Talking about ETH there, yeah. But monetary supply is on the move to the upside. We're at all records, 21.86 trillion in dosh and cash slushing around. And like I say, we get the interest rate cuts. It's game on, right? Game on. And of course, a lot of pressure coming on Jerome Powell, who's definitely playing politics games. So we shall see. It's going to be hard for him to do that once all the trade deals come out, because there's less volatility, he would argue. But once again, a lot of the federal central banks around the world have already reduced their rate cuts, so it should be game on from here, right? Should be game on. So this sets us up pretty well. Everything's lining up. I mean, we've obviously got a little bit of irkiness at the moment, but once we get, it could be next week, from next week's onwards, where things really are just so bullish that the market has to go. And it definitely is starting to look like that on the ETH price, on the ETH chart. Bitcoin's holding over 100K. Pulse chain is probably going to have suddenly a God mode candle or something like that. Who knows? We could see that. Could be pretty crazy, right? So let's go to the other screen. And we've got a good crew watching at the moment, so don't forget to smash the subscribe button on YouTube. We're on 3 different YouTube channels at the moment. So whatever you're on, if you're on the Crypto Night Show, if you're on Superman Crypto or Pulse Chain X, smash the subscribe button, share the channel around. And if you're on X, of course, smash the follow button on X and share the channel around, as well. Because I think we're pretty much the only significant channel in the Pulse Chain space that's doing daily live streams, and have been for day after day. So get out there. If you love Pulse Chain getting out there, then get out and spread the word, because that's where we're covering the full thing. We cover the markets, cover all the teams coming up. We've got the X spaces coming up. We continue to expand our coverage because it's important people get good information and so forth. So yeah. Now you must always remember to do your own investment due diligence. Obviously, because I cover just about everything on Pulse Chain, there's always going to be some slush in there. So I do my best to feather that out. But when you tokens launching every day, you just never know what's out there. But I think there was some pretty good advice given out today in the chat. I think I'm going to highlight one of those, which is Craig Pitt here. If you were to spend 100,000 or suggest someone invest 100,000, what would you put in? He's got Hex, Pulse and Ink, and some PDC. I think there's a pretty good rollout. That'd be $1,250. So that's a pretty good start there. You can't go too much wrong with the core coins, can you? Kind of neat. And another good one I thought was also from Brian, our community leader, which is pretty cool. So he says I'd put $100 on each of the top 10. Which would include presumably the RH coins. I guess what you mean by top 10, which and raced to $1,000 each. Yeah, I like it. How about that? That's pretty good strategy, Brian. All right, so there we go. Take from that what you will. Always do your own financial due diligence and not financial advice and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, let's get to these videos. I'm going to play out some of these. So let's do that on the way out. All right, peace out, everybody. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. X Spaces. After the live show tomorrow. So we'll do the live show tomorrow, and then we're going to have X Spaces at 9 p.m. Eastern, which will be 1 p.m. New Zealand time, 11 a.m. Australian time. Myself and our promotional lead, Crypto MVS, will be there co-hosting. It's going to be a fun show. 5 really rising stars on Pulse Chain, all very different from each other. It's going to be a fun X Space. You guys got to see it. You got to be there, and you've got to. Brian says do your own research. You got to be there, because there it is. X Spaces coming up. It's going to be hopefully something that a lot of people want to attend. Every 2 weeks we're going to have it. So I think it's pretty exciting. All right, enough of that. Let's go into the final one here. We're going to play out a billionaire Raoul Paul, and of course he got burned with the old Sue chain the other day. But he's got some great analysis here around where we are in the market. So we're going to play that on the way out. And then we'll give a little Richard Hart might turn up. To talk about, when it really gets started. So wait for that. All right, peace out, guys. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing each cycle. It's not to do with a halving cycle. Nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase 1 of the banana zone, banana number 1. The corrective zone, banana number 2 comes. Another correction, banana number 3. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020. 2021, off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats, don't fuck this up, don't lose control of your tokens, don't use leverage, don't get your wallet hacked, just sit with it, be careful, don't get FOMO, do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of correction zone. That's going to be harder, because the next one that happens, we'll have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over, and everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment because it's easier to get them, because it takes less economic energy, because there's less of it for sale.